with Dr. Drew.
They're interrupting our conversation.
Yeah, I know, we're talking away here. Dr. Drew from Celebrity Rehab, but you know him from a million other things. We all know you. Okay, so we're going to take questions from the audience.
Beautiful.
And we're going to talk when my mom comes on about texting, sexting.
Sex texting.
Is what they call
Sexting,
it,
yeah.
All right. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hi. Dr. Drew, how do you diagnose sex addiction? And is there some form of evaluation scale?
Well, actually, there's a website. Can I give a website?
Of course.
There's a website
Anything
has
that'll help
has some
anybody.
screening tools on it. It's sash.net. It's sash.net. And they have screening tools that you can take, and you can see if perhaps there's a suggestion of a problem. But this is a common question today. People look at Tiger Woods and they go, there's all this consternation that this is, oh, just a guy with power and money getting away with stuff. But look, this is not that. Sex addiction, as with any addiction, is about consequences. Relationships, work, finance, health, legal status. If things are happening in those areas of your life, and yet you continue the behavior, especially if you wish you could stop and you can't, that's addiction. And in Tiger's case, he has harmed his career, he has harmed his wife, he has harmed his children. And believe me, if you were to sit in a room alone with him, that man would be just stricken with this.
But I don't understand, like when it becomes a sex addiction, which I know a lot of people think now is an excuse for.
Our thinking about sex addiction is very similar to our thinking on chemical addiction 30 years ago, Bonnie.
Okay.
It really is. But you go ahead and ask.
No, I'm just saying that. What about the first time they did it? Like, what was happening before that? Does something trigger it, like the loss of his father, or you know?
When they start, usually it can be again an attempt to. What you find is that feelings for them before they start using are too prolonged, too intense, and too negative, and they get stuck in them and can't regulate their way out. Most of us can find a way to find comfort or ease or figure out a way out of our feeling states. They cannot, and the behaviors and the drugs are what give them relief, and off they go. Often preceded by trauma. If there's a sexual trauma, particularly in childhood, that is somebody at risk for sexual addictions. Okay?
Thank you.
I talk a lot.
No. I'm listening. I love it. Hi, welcome to the show. What's your name? Oh, you don't have to say your name. Oh. But what is it?
My question is, there's a lot of controversy over whether or not there's a G-spot, so I wanted to know your opinion of the matter.
Goodness gracious.
Is it near Area 51, isn't it?
I think it is. Is that the G-spot? I've done a radio program for years, you guys mentioned earlier, called Loveline, where I've talked to young people about reproductive health and relationships. And of course, this kind of stuff comes up all the time. And I've always thought way, way, way too much was made of that. Because
I know, but what makes you, I mean...
Let me just say, what Bonnie was trying to say.
I mean, do you think you're missing out? Is that what you're worried about?
No, you read it in all the Cosmo magazines.
It's overstated, overdone. Please stop reading that nonsense. But be that as it may, that women are wired up a little differently. You have two giant chromosomes that make you female. We as men have this little Y chromosome. No kidding. It's been decaying for millions of years. And what makes Don and I male is really the same thing. It's this little bit of information. What makes you different from the other women in this audience is a tremendous amount of genetic information. That's why women vary so much one to the other, particularly as it pertains to their sexual functioning. And so this thing was trying to make everyone uniform, which they are not. And some women have a responsive area there, and some do not. Period.
Okay. Thank you.
Is that okay?
That was good.
Okay, good.
Hi, Dr. Drew. I just wondered if you had any advice on how a middle-aged woman like myself could find the right guy.
Oh. What are you looking at me for? Yeah, you better think hard.
I mean, there's a million questions I have. In other words, has there not been a right guy in your life at all to this point?
Actually, probably never.
Really, never?
You picked the wrong one the first time.
Well, but see,
that's not really the wrong one. It was the right one at the time, right?
I guess.
But did it end badly? Have you been avoidant of relationships since? Okay.
Very much so.
Okay.
I buried myself in my work and my kids.
Yeah, and that's what you got to kind of look at. It's not about the environment. It's about me and about my experience with men. My picker was broken. I picked the wrong guy. I tried to make it work. It traumatized me, and now I've forsaken the whole thing. And that's not gonna. I know you're sad. I mean, you're sad hearing that. No, it's sad. Yeah. And you've got to realize that relationships are really what make life meaningful. When I do a lot of death and dying issues in my medical practice, and when people come to the end of life, they will say the same thing. It's that the people we love give life its meaning. And it may not be people you know, just in your immediate family, maybe people and friends that you just care dearly about.
Yeah, I mean, children included too. I don't want people at home that are not in a marriage or in a relationship to feel that
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that we got to cultivate the priority of relationships, is what I'm saying. And I don't necessarily mean romantic relationships, is what you're saying, but closeness, intimacy. And it seems like you have a piece that's missing. You'd like to cultivate it. You should.
You should. You deserve it.
Yeah, you're entitled to it.
If that's what you want, you deserve it.
And so try to change inside and make yourself available, and then things should start happening. But be careful. Realize that if you're super aroused and into a guy, probably not the right guy. You got a broken picker. So maybe some guy a little less exciting. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You know what that is. You have broken. I could tell your picker was broken.
That's not true.
It
My
was when
picker's
you were
not
younger.
broken. Yours is. I can tell by the way you walked out here.
Oh.
That ain't right. Poor Leo. Leo, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bonnie. Thank you for having me here at your show. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you,
Dr.
honey.
Drew, could you talk a little bit about what the key elements to make a relationship be successful?
I would say it's somebody who appreciates you and shows you that appreciation regularly, who values you and your values the same as you do, and who's able to express and show you that and make you feel safe in a relationship and have reciprocity and respect. I mean, all these things are critical elements in a relationship. We've just lost track of it, though. So there's not one ingredient.
Are you in a relationship?
Yes.
And are you?
Is it working?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
What's wrong, though, honey?
I just wanted to hear your opinion and make sure I'm doing all the right things.
Yeah, you should feel cared for and safe.
I think a guy that's even asking that is probably on the right track. Yeah. Thank you very much for your question.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
dear, my mom's up next.
Oh, yes, this is going to be great. I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, my mom Alice joins us. More with Dr. Drew. Welcome.